Hey guys, thought I'd do a video real quick on preventing winter weeds, well really fall and winter weeds. Um, with your centipede lawn, like I've said in previous videos, I like to do a fall application of pre-emergent as well as a light coat in January or thereabouts. So by the time that it fades away, that barrier fades away, it'll be like mid-March, right when the grass needs to wake back up again. Um, So I did a pre-emergent back in mid-October, um, and I used this product that I've never used before. I've read a lot about it, but I finally used it this year, and I'll link to it down in the description below. It's from High Yield. Uh, it's strictly a pre-emergent. There's no potassium in it, which you'll see a lot of products have, like 007. Um, what I liked about this High Yield is that the granule size was really small, so I could get a lot of coverage with that granule size. So for example, coverage, I mean, like if you took a square yard and since the granules are so small, you might get like 100 granules in that square yard, whereas some of the other products you might only get like 50 granules. That's just an example, just top of my head, but that gives you an idea what I mean by coverage. So with the granules being that fine, when you spread it out with your rotary spreader, it just shoots them out and really get a good nice dispersion. And my pre-emergent was a little late this year. I wanted to give my grass as much time to grow as possible this year, and I was a little late. I did it, I think, around October 20th. I probably should have done it around the 1st of October. But the reason why you want to do a fall application, a lot of people have problems with Poa annua. It's a weed that doesn't actually appear until the spring, usually like February or March. But a lot of people have issues with that, and the way to prevent it is to do that fall application of pre-emergent. So what I like to do is I like to do like a standard rate in the fall, like in October, and that would be like a 3 pounds per 1,000 square feet. So 3 pounds of the actual product. Say you have a 15,000 square foot or a 5,000 square foot lawn. You would only need 15 pounds to cover that 5,000 square feet, 3 times 5. So, with that being said, I wanted that fall application to last about till January. So I did it in October, and then in January I'll do a lighter coat because I want my grass to actually wake up in mid to late March. So if I apply it in early January, I really only want to do about 2 pounds per 1,000 of that product. So typically what I've read is each pound of product you use per 1,000 is about the amount of months of coverage you'll get. So 1 pound per 1,000 is 1 month, 2 pounds per 1,000 is 2 months, etc. You really don't want to go too heavy. About the heaviest you want to go would be 4 pounds per 1,000, but that might really set your root growth back because pre-emergents are what's known as a root pruner. So you sacrifice a little bit of root growth because it sets that barrier on the soil line or just beneath the soil line. So the weeds actually germinate, but what that pre-emergent does is actually prevents the weed from appearing. So it germinates in the soil, but it hits that barrier and it kills that weed and prevents it from appearing in your lawn. Now I do have quite a bit of clover this year because, like I said, I think I was probably a few weeks late on my pre-emergent. But overall, I'm happy with the High Yield product. Like I said, with the coverage that I got and the timing, being that I was a little late, it still did pretty well. I'm not seeing any chickweed or any near as many bittercrest weeds. I am seeing a little bit of plantain here and there, but it's not bad at all. I mean, you're not going to get 100% of the weeds, I mean, the coverage is going to be good, but the how much you actually get to prevent, it's not going to be 100%, you know. I mean, you're still going to get a little bit of weeds. Even the best lawns have weeds, and we're just trying to cut down on it, especially in the fall and winter, because if you get a lot of weeds in the fall and winter and your grass is growing dormant, it's going to have kind of a bad look because those weeds just stick out so badly. And like with the green weeds up against the kind of yellowing brownish hue of the dormant grass, it just looks bad. Now I did a fall cleanup the other day. There were leaves out here everywhere, and I'm just trying to keep the leaves off. You don't want to keep those on there longer than a few days, you know, probably 5 or 6 days tops. Especially on a sunny day like this, I want to try to give the grass as much opportunity to absorb that sunshine and that energy as possible. So it looks like the leaves have finally kind of died down. I would do this cleanup, and then the next day it would just be totally covered again. So this is a good thing. I did this yesterday, and there's still not any leaves out here really. So I think the leaves have finally settled or fallen. And but I just wanted to stress the importance of that winter pre-emergent. I'm going to do another application here in January, probably about January 5th or something like that. And like I said, I'm going to do probably 2 pounds per thousand. So that'll give me 2 months of coverage. And then because, now you might ask, why do you want to not do a spring pre-emergent? Well, I've discussed this kind of in another video, but since my lawn has some bare spots that I want to fill in, that I want the grass to naturally fill in, I have noticed that if I do a spring pre-emergent application like in March or April, that will do a great job at preventing like crabgrass. I didn't really get any crabgrass this year, but I wouldn't have to worry about really grassy weeds that appear and any other kind of summer weeds that might pop up. But it also sacrifices the ability of the centipede to spread laterally. And so I want that winter barrier to dissipate by mid-March. So then when the grass is waking up, it's going to have a good 6.5 months of growing from like March till pretty much October. I just wanted to kind of show you the products that I've used in the description below again. And those are all safe for centipede as long as you don't go too heavy on the application. And if you wonder like how many square feet of yard that you have, you can just do it the old school way, which is kind of stepping it off. And you know, the area is length times width. So you just, you know, if you've got a yard that's 20 feet long by 50 feet wide, that's 1,000 square feet. And say you do kind of a large step, I would count that as 3 feet thereabouts. So if you do, you know, 7 steps, that's 20 feet. And just kind of estimate it. It doesn't have to be perfect. But if you get a good idea of what your square footage is, that's really going to help you with your applications. You can do it that old school way, or you can go to a website that I'll try to link up to in the description as well, that gives a satellite view of your lawn. You just put your address in, and you can kind of draw the coordinates, and it will display your square footage. It's pretty cool. High yield product has a chemical in there called dithiapyr, and the marketing name for that is Dimension. Prodiamine is also the other chemical that can be used safely on centipede. But this high yield product was good, and I saw it for a 20-pound bag, I think, at my local garden shop, and it wasn't that expensive, and it was able to cover my backyard as well as I have like a small front yard that has zoysia grass. I may do some updates on my front yard next year for some zoysia tips, but I hope this is beneficial to you as far as like how you can prevent those fall and winter weeds, and how much product to put down, and just follow the bag directions and get a good spreader. You can get a cheap Scott's mini spreader like I have. It does just as good a job as, I mean, as I can imagine any spreader doing. But just wanted to link up those products to show you what I use and show you what works, and hope you have the same success I do. It's not perfect, but it does prevent probably 70% of the weeds from appearing, if I had to guess. So hope you guys find this beneficial, and happy holidays. Thanks.